4 more goals on the road, Stu. 3 times they've scored 4 on the road this season, all in that white kit. And what a win, 4-0 at Gillingham, brilliant.
Yeah, I would argue that it's good. I can't believe I'm saying that we've got a performance on the road better than both Portsmouth and Wickham, but that was a more complete performance, the most complete performance I've seen from Ipswich Town for a long, long time. That extra time on the training pitch with Kieran McKenna appears to have played dividends, because that was silky smooth liquid football at times in the first half, wasn't it? 3 really well worked team goals, 1-2 touch, confident football. It's hard not to start believing that something could come together. I know this was Gillingham, who are in dreadful shape at the moment, but that was good, wasn't it?
Just when they think you're out, they pull you back in, and they've done it. They've done it again. Yes, it's Gillingham 12 without a win before this. They look in a bit of a state. But you can only be excited by what you see, I guess. And for half an hour of this game, the first half an hour, they pulled Gillingham to pieces in that first half an hour. It was brilliant to watch. Like you say, 3 really good goals in that time. James Norwood with the first. That came from like they all did, nice one-touch move, quick passes, quick movement, which I enjoyed watching the most. And Sam Morsey drive tapped in by James Norwood. Then Wes Burns does what Wes Burns does and lashes one in. He's admitted it took a heavy deflection. It's not his proudest work, I don't think, but he's pretty pleased. And then Matt Penny keeps his cool as he collects a beautiful Sonny Aluko pass. Keeps his cool, squares it, and Macaulay Bonne, after such a drought, has ended that drought. You wouldn't have known it was a man on a 10-game goal drought coming into this, would you? Because he kind of exemplified everything that was good about Ipswich, I thought, for long spells of that first half, just with the movement, the dropping, and the power as well.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Ipswich Town in possession to start with today. And it was the same outfield 10. The only change today is Walton back in goal after recovering from COVID. The same outfield 10 that played against Wickham on December 29th, but they played it a very different way today, especially the front 3. I thought against Wickham you saw Aluko and Norwood play virtually as sort of wide midfielders at times, and it was a very structured, disciplined, organised performance. A lot more fluid today. Aluko was back to being that sort of floaty number 10, taking up lots of different positions. For my money, he was Ipswich's best player. I mean, it was a team performance today, but he was a joy to watch as well. Macaulay Bonne, instead of playing right on that last shoulder, getting caught offside time and time again, he dropped deep and some really good link-up play in there. He was involved in the goals as well as the ones that he didn't score in. So in possession, really good, but let's not overlook how good Ipswich were out of possession as well. It's another clean sheet, which is something they've really struggled for this season. And Gillingham, like Wickham, are a direct side, long throws into the box. They can make life difficult with big Verdane Oliver up front, but they were up for the fight today as well, weren't they? And out of possession, very, very good.
What they did today that they didn't do the last time we were here in the league with Ipswich, which was Paul Cook's first game in charge back in March time, is they allowed Gillingham to work on them so deep in that game. They allowed balls to come into the box. They allowed Oliver to battle, but Ipswich made sure those battles were a good distance away from their box. George Edmondson, he's not the biggest defender in terms of size, but he outjumps his size, he outpowers his size, and he made the threat null and void almost. Like Luke Wolfenden, 2 good clearances early on for Wolfenden, and then again he got through a game that we might not have seen him get through so well in the past. He did it against Wickham and he's done it again today, dealt with the physical side. And Janoy Dynastion always feels like the kind of the free man in that back 3 to me. And that's a good thing, because he can sweep round, which he does, and he can get forward, which he does as well.
There was one spell in this game that Kieran McKenna's not happy with, and he's a perfectionist, because he comes in there and talks about already things we need to improve on, and he's already talking about how Bolton away next weekend is going to be a different type of game. But that 10-15 minute spell leading up to half time, Ipswich had got themselves 3-0 up, and he said, I wasn't happy at half time because we started to get a little bit sloppy. We gave a few free kicks away and we were allowing them to get in our box a little bit more. And he said, to be fair, the players recognised that themselves and they almost self-fixed it. And how often do you see a team lead 3-0 at half time and then take their foot off the gas in the second half, and it drifted and it didn't? You know, James Norwood is still chucking elbows around and players are still, sticking up for each other as teammates. Tackles were still going in, and they earned the right to play today. Yes, very good on the ball, but they had to do the ugly stuff as well. So as complete a performance as we've seen from a little while, but with that little asterisk, that little caveat that it is Gillingham, and they were poor, and there will be tougher tests ahead.
Yeah.
But 2 wins from 2, can't ask for more than that.
You know what I enjoyed the most is how many times, particularly there were times under Paul Lambert, and there were certainly times at the start of Paul Cook's time here, that we talked about these long training weeks. Finally, Paul Cook's going to get some time on the training ground, 10 days before the next game. And they came out, and you couldn't see it. You couldn't see the product of that, but within 10 minutes of this game, you could see the product of what has been a 10-day break from league action, from match action, just with the speed and the confidence that they were stroking the ball around with. Yes, it was against Gillingham, a team that maybe sat off them a bit and were maybe a bit easier to pull around than others will be, but it's a building block.
Yeah, and I guess, look, it's easy to look that confident when you've scored 2-3 goals inside the opening sort of 20-30 minutes as well, so that also played its part today. But I think McKenna's wise enough to know that it won't, like he said, doesn't always come off as well as it does today, but enjoy it today. I'm really pleased for those 2,000 or so Ipswich fans that are in that open-ended scaffolding away end behind us. They got absolutely soaked today in the wind and the rain, but they won't have cared one jot. Big win today, different test away at Bolton next weekend, but you look at these fixtures coming up and just thinking maybe, just maybe, this season ain't over yet. We'll see.